Hi, this is Rachel with Heart Body B. I'm going to drop into our bodies for about 10 minutes. I'm going to really break down bridge pose. It's a great pose to do every day. It could be the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, the end of the day, whenever. Opens your chest and really turns on your seat and your adductor engagement. I recommend having a block for this. It's really, really great. I'm going to use the small block today just because I have a lot of length on the inside of my legs and my big toes will be touching in parallel, but 6 inches apart or even hip width, depending what's comfortable for your lower back. First, I'm going to start with a warm-up. I'm going to put the block through to my upper thighs. My big toes are touching, my heels slightly separated, and I'm really wanting my ankle bones to touch. So I bend my knees a little bit. I squeeze the block in my adductors. Pelvic floor lifts, stomach in and up, navel to spine. Good posture, essentially mountain pose. Yeah. Breathe my arms up through my back, reach, reach, reach. Look at my hands. And then over to one side, and I can press with my right hand into my thigh, and my right arm is going to come, or left arm is going to come in front of my face. I'm going to be abdominal. I'm really opening up the side body and really crunching through with my feet into the floor, my adductors engaged. A couple more breaths. Breathe in and up. Breathe your arms up. And then over to the other side, really pressing into the leg with your lats and your hand that's down, using the block, navel to spine, arm in front of the face, a nice side bend here. Lift your chin and chest any amount. So my hip and my floating ribs are all on one plane. Yeah. Breathe in and up. Nice. And then we're going to take one chest opener, one small back bend here. So root through the feet, big toes parallel, squeezing the block, ankles coming together. Breathe your arms up. You can touch your hands, it's great. I'm not interlacing. You can interlace if that's what you want to do, or even keep your hands shoulder width. And then breathe in and up, and then from your seat, from the strength of your seat, and your feet grounding into the floor, look up, open your chest any amount. You can take your hands to your top of your seat. Breathe into your chest. You can take your hands to the back of your thighs. Pressing in, triceps on. And breathing. Breathe in and up. Release. And then we'll take one forward bend. So with a micro bend in your knees, or even maybe more than that, squeeze the block. Bending the knees is no problem here. You can come down to a block. We're going to just take a nice forward bend. While squeezing the block, navel to spine, really, really lift your stomach up and in. You can put your hands on the floor, squeeze your chest together, look up, and back down. Yeah. Bend your knees quite a bit. And if you can grab your heels, roll your shoulders forward, and really pull yourself into yourself, stomach in. Release your neck. Yeah, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that block. Yeah, you can do little bends, feeling really weighted in your pelvis and your seat. Look up, extension. Flexion, breathe up, extension, exhale out. Yeah. All right, and come down, do bridge pose. I'm gonna switch to the bigger block. I think that'll feel nice. And my toes, feet are gonna be about 6 inches apart. Really, really close to my fingertips if I can get that. If you have a lot of flexibility and want to go ahead and grab your ankles, that's pretty extreme. And then just squeeze the block. Feel equally weighted between your right and your left side of your pelvis. For me, that means pushing more into my right foot, because I'm right-handed, left-legged. And just stay here for a second. Really squeeze the block. Feel your feet pressing into the floor. Feel your heels pressing into the floor. And you can even press your hands into the floor. This plank, yeah, so hip bones and floating ribs. This can be pretty active. You don't really have to be going anywhere. It's such a trick. And then a first really small initiation, press into your feet, squeeze the block. With your ribs remaining on the floor, roll your seat up. Heels, adductors, stomach, butt. Again, I'm really pushing into my right foot, engaging my right seat, and as I engage my adductors, squeeze, 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 get my inner seat. Yeah, so we're not on the outside of our tensors here. Tends to be a spot that's weak on most people, including me, and I'm shaking. So this is quake training, so I'm in a new spot, and I'm getting stronger, and I'm not doing too much. You know, my seat is barely off the floor, my neck is relaxed, and then the next step to this is pushing through your seat. So we're essentially in plank with hips and ribs. Yeah. And then you can take a few breaths here. Again, I'm still shaking. I'm shaking in my adductors. And then if you can interlace your fingers below. Roll your shoulders open. With your feet, push your chest open. Bridge pose. Still really, really squeezing the block. And if you can press up into wheel. I kind of like to go into my toes at first, just while I open my chest. Put my feet back down. And again, press through my feet, squeeze the block, release my neck, and breathe. It's advisable to do 2 sets of that. So good. You've already done 1. The second set is somewhere new. And then after you've done 2 sets, you pull your knees in. Release your back. It should feel really, really good.